All right, just one moment. All right, so usually I think people would wait to talk about the golden calf, because it's huge. It's a huge thing, but we've had this discussion before, I believe, but I'm going to touch base. We're going to go over it tonight. And I want everybody to have their ears opened and to see what the Most High is going to show us about this in particular deal. Okay. So listen what it says. It's chapter number 32. Okay. Like I said, this might be the big shadig, this would be the great thing to talk about on Shabbat. But I'm like, again, you don't know if the Shabbat's going to come, right? So we should talk about these things as we go along. Remember, we're not a religion. So we're not trying to figure out how we can take, the best highlights. Everything the Most High says is a highlight. Okay. Every single thing that he said. Here we're going to find something very interesting about why this came about and why the children of Israel has decided to make a golden calf. It says, verse number 1, when the people saw that Moshe was taking a long time to come down from the mountain, they gathered around Aharon and said to him, get busy and make us gods, plural, to go ahead of us. Okay. Because this Moshe, the man that brought us up from the land of Mizraim, we don't know what has happened or has become of him. Okay. When I read this in the Hebrew, it says something a little different. Okay. Here it says, when the people saw that Moshe was taking a long time to come down, that's what they're saying. It's a long time. This is the reason why they came down. So when they said it was taking a long time, what's the first emotion you think probably got into them? What did they start acting like?
Anxiety.
Yeah, they had a little anxiety, right? And you became what they would call impatient. Okay. That's the way I would take it. He took a long time. So they started having some anxiety, right? Well, that's not what it says in the Hebrew. It actually says something quite different than that, which is interesting. It says here, and when saw the Ha'am, the people, okay, the people, the Ha'am, and he identifies them as one, right? They're one group, not plurality, okay? He's looking at them as one group of people, MS, masculine singular, including all the females and everybody, okay? He says that it was delayed, and it has that in the PL, it's forceful, okay? But the word here is called B-O, shesh, okay? Should put probably like Aish, just so it can make sense. Boshesh, okay? This word boshesh is meaning to be, let me show you. It means not delayed. It doesn't mean delayed. See how they say it's delayed? Watch this. They were ashamed. The name of the root of the word is bush. Okay. Bush. Like President Bush. Oh, Bush. Bush. And it means to be ashamed. Okay. So the people began to be ashamed, and what they would call disappointed. That's what it was. The people became disappointed. They became ashamed. They felt as if what they have done and everything they've experienced up to this point has been in vain. They felt very disappointed because this in particular man called Moshe, okay? This man Moshe, right? The one who brought them out of Mitzrayim has disappeared. It's been 40 days and it's been 40 nights and they don't know what's going on. Okay. So they felt disappointed. They felt ashamed, right? Here's the kicker. So it's not just they saw when the people that he delayed is coming, it was they were ashamed because Moshe had not come down yet from the mountain. And so these people, they all gathered together, they had caused themselves to come together, and they came down to Aharon. Now, when Moshe went up with him and Yehoshua, he left two people in charge. He says, if anything goes wrong, they need to come to you, Aharon, and they need to go to this guy called Ker. We don't hear nothing about Ker, okay? In English, they would call him Hur, right? But his real name is Ker. So where's Ker at? He's nowhere to be found, okay? He's not even mentioned. So these people gather not to, because the preposition meaning to go to Aharon would have been an aleph and a lamed. That means two. This right here is different. This is different, okay? This preposition right here is not to. So you got to ask yourself the question, why are these people writing it in this way? Why are they downplaying what the people felt? Why are they trying to get us away from their emotional state? You see? And saying that the people went to him, like, they're going to consult him. They didn't go to him. Okay. What they did was, if you look at that word, it's a preposition and it means to be above or to be upon, not to. Okay. There it is. Okay. Above, or over. So what they were doing is they were coming to overpower him, Aharon. Okay. They went to overpower, and it's called what they call an overtake him. That's what they came to do. So they came upon him, not to him. They're not just not coming suggesting. These people have come and probably literally to make a threat to him. So he got scared. All right. So when you look at this word upon, it means that, just to give a little bit more clarification from a Hebraic standpoint, because we're Hebrews, that ayin there is the eye, and the lamed is the staff. Okay. And the eye is to see, and the staff represents authority. Okay. So these people, right, they went to the one that they can overpower. They're coming to overpower him and to make him do something that they want him to do. They're pushing him. They're not just telling him, hey, we want you to do this. They commanded him. So, but also too, this word all has a understanding of being a yoke, because that's what you would do with a yoke. You would put it on or above or over the shoulders of someone. Okay. So they're speaking to him to speak to authority. Now they're taking their own authority and they're speaking to him and telling them what it's going to be. All right. I'm gonna try to move through this a little bit faster. Praise Yah. Okay. So they came to Aharon and they said to him, come, kum, rise up, not come, rise, not come, rise. Imperative, which is a direct command. We need you to rise up right now, and you need to make another imperative for us gods, right? That may asher yelaku, that will go before us. Okay, that's what we want. The lafanenu, before our faces. So you might ask yourself, well, why did they automatically default to going to these gods? Any ideas? Why would they default to gods and not one Elohim?
Probably because they didn't believe in the beginning that Yah was the God who brought them out.
You just nailed it. We might as well just thank you guys for coming to class tonight. Lila Tov, I'll see you on Yom Kamishi. Because that's the answer. That's why they're making reference to him, saying the man Moshe, for this man. Okay. So they're going automatically back to what they understand and what they know. And generally what I wanted to share tonight with you is when we're disappointed, right? And things are not working out the way that we want, and we feel like the Most High is not moving as fast as we want him to, or we think he's abandoned us, then what happens is we automatically go into what we call our instinctive mode. We go to a default mode. There's a default setting within us to say, I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to do that which I'm comfortable with, and I'm going to do that which is convenient for me. So this is the reason why they chose these gods. Okay. Make for us these gods. Okay. For as far as this man, and they're pointing directly to Zay. Zay means this Moshe. This man is Haish. They call him the man, not some other man, but the man, because they believe he says, who is the one who brought us out? 100% correct, Akoti. They said that he brought us out, right? So check this out. When you look at that word, which the Most High didn't even show this to me until just now, praise Yah. Look at this. Inside of this word, everyone, okay, here, right here, you have this hey right here, which means a cause. It's a hifel, it's a causative way. So they're saying he caused, and this new right here is us. Okay. And the up is the aleph, the ayin and the lamed. The same word that's being used to talk about how they came upon Aharon, the eye of the staff, to bring us up. So what we're going to do now that you brought us up, now we're going to look for someone else to bring us up. And someone who can yelaku, who can go before us. Okay. That word yelaku is broken out as a yod, a lamed, a kaf, and a u. Okay. That u right there, here is us. This right here, meaning lock, which they would have A-L-A-K, lock. That means to walk, because it's the shepherd's staff in the palm of the hand. Okay, to walk before us. To walk before us is to actually lead us. What we want is we want a different leadership. We want it to lead us. Okay, that's what we want. It's for it. Okay, so in their minds, they want a God, okay, or gods that they can put into one. Listen, I was asking myself, well, why do they keep saying gods and they're only going to make one image? Because in their mind, that one image can mean multiple things. You see, the God that they can have can also be the God of fertility. That God could be the God of harvest. That God might have something common with the storms. It might, you see what I'm saying? So it's this idea of what they would call in the Christian faith of a Trinity. You know, it could be the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. It could be the mother, the father, and the child. It could be any of those things. It could be the heavens, the earth, and the water. It could be anything. See? So what they're going to do is they want to have an image that has a representation that they can, what? That they can identify with, because that's their default setting. Okay. So they're saying this man has brought us out. And look, we don't know what has become of him. Verse number 2, and I'm reading from right to left, and said to them, okay, now this is the proper two, because here is el, that's two, which is the preposition, and then the third person plurality is the him, which is the hey and the mem, okay? So this is two, and this is them, okay? The third person masculine plural. So to them, and he said, who's the he? Aharon. Aharon said, go ahead and break off. You guys break off, gave him command, break off your earrings. Okay. The gold, right? So they ain't heard nothing about a teruma. They ain't heard nothing about the golden Ark of the Covenant. They heard nothing about the table, the altar, nothing. They ain't heard not a word what the Most High was giving to Moshe to bring down to them. So this is what they're doing right before he was going to come down. And he says, bring it off the ears, the azane of your wives. I want it from your wives. I want the earrings from them. I want the earrings out of your sons' ears. I want the earrings and the nose rings from your daughters. I need that. I need all that gold. Bring me that gold. Okay. And bring it to me Again, that El means two, and that Yod right there is me. Bring it to me. Cause it to be brought to me. And that's a command. And then they broke off. They caused themselves a Hithpael, all the people. All of them all of them brought it. Okay. This is a big deal. So how many people we got out there? What do we got? How many people? 50? What?
1,000.
No, you got millions. Okay. You got at least 1.5, almost 2 million people. Okay. So they bring all this gold. Okay. Of their golden earrings, just the golden earrings. That's what he asked for, the earrings. He didn't ask for any other vessels. He asked just for the earrings. Bring it. And they brought them to Aharon, and he received it. He took it from their hand, and he fashioned. Okay. He created, because that's what Yatsar means, create or form. He formed it, and he did it with a Bakedrith, which is a engraving tool, and he made, okay, third person's masculine singular, he made an agel, which is a calf, okay, and he molded it out of the gold. I asked the question, why a calf? Why a calf? What's a calf? By definition, what is a calf?
Baby cow.
It's a baby cow. This is a baby, okay? And more than anything, it's a son of a bull. It's the birthing of power, of the powerful one. Okay? So we want the baby, the new birth of this son of the bull, the father. We want the son of the father. Are you getting it? That's what they want. They want the son of the father. The son of the bull is the son of the father. They also want this calf because of its character. It's very frisky. It likes to jump around. It likes to play. It likes to go around in circles. And also, too, it hasn't been disciplined and it has not been tamed. Therefore, it is unrestrained. It's doing its own thing. It's free. It has freedom. Now are we getting it? It has freedom to do what it wants to do, to jump around in a circle and play games without going through under the idea of a yoke being put upon its neck, to tame it and to make sure that it's going to do what its master wants it to do, or to guide it where it wants to be guided. Okay. Or where the master wants to guide it, or where the husbandman or the farmer or the shepherd wants to guide it. So what they're looking for is a freedom, and what they're looking for is a freedom to be what they want to be and do what they want to do. And we can see this, okay, inside of the teaching. And I want all of us to remember this, okay? So unrestrained, unfettered means that you can literally do what you want to do. Verse number 5. And when Saul Aharon, right? And when Saul Aharon, he built. Did I skip something? Let me see. No, I almost skipped the most important part. So they molded this calf, and they said, these, not this, these are your gods, Yisrael, off of one calf, off of one calf. They call it gods because it's that idea of the Father and the Son, and the idea of freedom, the idea of unrestrained, the idea of no boundaries, okay? The idea of playfulness. And listen, that brought you out, okay? And there's our word again, the ayin and the lamed. They brought you up. Should it not be brought you? They brought you up, out from the arrest of Mitzrayim. So Occulti Pam was 100% correct. They never thought that Elohim, Yahweh, had brought them out. They were looking at Moshe, the man, saying that he's the one who saved us. He's the one who brought us out. He's the one who fed us with manna. He's the one who gave us the water. So what they were saying is this man, the source of everything that we received before, he's gone. Now we're looking for someone else. And the only thing that we could do and associate with out of default is to make ourselves an idol. They thought he was the one. And this is probably the reason why the Most High had him delayed. You see? To see where they really have to test them, to see, like I said, if you're worthy of the Torah. And guess what we find? They never really trusted the Most High. They never trusted him. And this is sad. They thought Moshe, because he's with a staff in his hand, they thought that he came on his own volition, out of his own desire to do something for his people. They thought that Moshe was this character in their day. That's who they thought. That's what they thought he was to them, a Messiah. And the moment he didn't show up when they wanted him to, then we got to find someone else. We got to find someone and something or some others besides him. We're going to move on to the next one. You see? So this is what the Most High is trying to show us through this Torah portion, because remember, it's about the test. It's about the Nasa. It's about the carrying, the lifting. And also, too, you can see what type of people we're dealing with here, okay? Which happens to be the root where I come from. Or better yet, the stem. The root is Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov. The stem is the sons of Israel, okay? And so he built an altar before Aharon did, and he made a proclamation. And guess what he said? Now we're going to have a feast to Yahweh tomorrow. Justification of why he did what he did. Now, some may say he did this out of innocence, and he's just trying to, make up for it by calling it a cog. A cog is a time in which you and I talked about before. It's a ket, which is a wall, and a gamil, which is a G, right? Which is a gamil, which has to do with walking. Okay. So the wall, and those are walking. Walking what? From the outside. That which is on the outside is being brought and gathered together. So walking is to gather what? To gather around, right? And to have a festival to the Most High, which we have a feast coming up in 3 weeks. That those who are separate are going to be gathered together as one and unify in our memorial to the Most High about Pesach and Matzah, okay? Which we'll talk about a little bit later. Verse number 6, and rose early the next day and offered burnt offerings. Okay, here we go again. What do we got inside of there? We got the Ayin and the Lamed. Okay, and that is the offerings of the whole offerings, burnt offerings. They call burnt offerings, so they're called Olah. Okay, the Olah. And the Olah is that which is sins. That which is sins to the Most High. Okay. Do you guys remember what the Most High told them to do? After they came out, after he visited them on Mount Sinai, he told them about what he expected about not making a golden, don't make any images. But he said something to them, which was interesting. But let me finish before I go there. And so they brought peace offerings. They sat down the people to eat and to drink, and they rose up to what? They rose up to play. Okay. They became frisky like that calf. They began to party. They began to take their clothes off. They went completely wild, because now they're ready to be set free. So they were excited about coming out of Mizraim, out of bondage. And they believed when they came out of that bondage, they were being set free to do what they will. They didn't understand, like a lot of our people don't understand, that I'm not coming to set you free so you can continue to be the way that you are. I'm coming to set you free so you can do what I'm asking you to do. You've leave one house of bondage to come to a house of freedom and liberty and access to all things. But even so, in that access, okay, you have responsibilities, you have duties, you have conduct, you have the manner of life in which you're supposed to live. I don't set you free so you can do what you will. I set you free so you can do what I will. See, that's the response. That's the appropriate response with us, with this great king who's taken it upon himself to take a people to himself who were in bondage by people who hated them and had nothing but an evil intention for them and was doing evil to them, not just intended, but actually carried it out. As you notice now, we have the putuka right here, which is the mouth that tells us now that the Most High has closed this to us, and now he's going to open to us this part now. So what we're supposed to take from everything that we just read from verse number 1 to verse number 6 is understand that the children of Israel never believed that the Most High was with them. Even after seeing the great fire, they still believed. They just thought that Moshe was this man God and that he had these powers. So when you think about it, when they put all their trust in Moshe, and this is the reason why they were directing all their complaints and everything to him, because they didn't really believe the Most High. And this is one of the reasons why the Most High told Moshe when he struck that rock, when he told him not to, okay, I think on the second time, he said, don't do it, speak to them. And he didn't. He said, that's the reason why you're not going in, because you didn't sanctify me before the people, because it was their opportunity to know that I was with them. Okay. So Israel has a hard time and have difficulty understanding the presence of Yah. Verse number 7, and why dober Yahweh to El Moshe, 2, that's accurate to Moshe. He gives him a command. Okay. So now we see the people giving Aharon a command, right? And you see Aaron giving them a command. Now we see the Most High telling Moshe, he gave him a command. He told him to go. I need you to go right now, okay? Lake Raid. That word right there is called Yered. I need you to go down. That's what I need you to do. I need you to descend right now, okay? Because what's ascended to me is something that I want you to know. For corruption, these people have corrupted themselves. They have brought themselves to a place of ruin, letting us know that the idolatry and the gods and the default that you and I would automatically go to can actually bring about your ruin when you're disappointed because you don't believe the Most High is moving fast enough or quick enough in your circumstance. Okay. And so he says, your people, which is interesting. He calls these Moshe's people. He puts the ka on the end, yours, meaning they belong to you, possessive, in whom you brought out. You caused to cap them come out. You see that Elihu right here? That Aleph, the Ayin and the Lamed from the land of Mizraim. But I just thought you said that the Most High brought these people out. He did, but guess what he's saying? He's letting them know, like, they said that you brought them out. So guess what? You brought them out. Verse number 8. He says, they, Saru, that they, there's the wa with the u on it. Saru means to turn. Remember Sar, our mother, Sarah, right? Remember Sar means to turn. To turn what? To turn their heads. They've turned aside. They've turned their heads quickly from the Hadorek. They've turned away from the way. They turned away from the way, the direct, meaning the path that I have outlaid for them. I laid it out for them. I'm giving them a pathway. And what they've done is they've removed themselves really fast out from this way, in which relative pronoun that I'm tying to them. I've commanded this way to them through the commandment, which is our Torah portion is called mitzvah, right? This one here is our tetzavah. This right here is ziwathim, meaning is the same root of command that I've charged them. They have done to themselves the calf. So what way did he tell them to go? He gave them instructions when he gave them the 10 words. And they said, we will do it. Let me see what verse is that. It's in chapter number 20. Let me go here right quick. Let me show you what he said. I shouldn't have gone there. I think it's in 20. Where is it at? I think it's in 24. He said, bear with me for just one moment. I want to be 100% positive before I share it with you. No, it's right there in 20. I think it's in chapter number 20. Yep, it is in 20 and 19. Okay. He said, now this was the path that we need to remember. Okay. We're in chapter number 20, which that's when he spoke to them from Mount Sinai. Listen what he says. Yahweh said in chapter 20, verse number 22, Yahweh said to Moshe, here is what you are to say to the people of Israel, the sons of Israel. You yourselves have seen that I have spoken with you from the Shamayim, from the heaven. You are not to make with me gods of silver, nor make me gods of gold for yourselves. You're not supposed to do that, okay? All I want from you is this. This is all I ever asked of you. For me, you need make only an altar of earth. On it, you will sacrifice your burnt offerings, which is your olah, okay? Yeah. The olah, your shamamim, or shalamim, your peace offerings, which are sheep, goats, and cattle. In every place where I cause my name to be mentioned, I will come to you and bless you. If you do make me an altar of stone, you're not to build it with stone, cut stones, for if you use a tool on it, you profane it. Okay, so no tools. Okay, likewise, you are not to use steps to go up to my altar so that you won't be indecently uncovered. I don't want to see your nakedness. Okay, so the question is, if this is the path that he told them, because this is what he said, he told them what it was. So the expectation is, I've already instructed the children of Israel what to do, but they have soru, they have turned quickly away from what I said, from the way in which I commanded them, which lets us know that corruption is going to come to any of us who decide to go away from what he commanded us. This command is forever. It is perpetual, okay? And he says they made themselves a calf that's molded, and they worshiped it, and they sacrificed to it. Now, the question for us is, and well, let me finish, because he didn't finish. And he said, and they said, these are your gods, Israel, that brought you up from the land of Mizraim. Now, how did the Most High know all this in verse number 7 and verse number 8? What is he telling us? The Most High is letting us know. Not only does the Most High see what we do, because he said that they worshiped it. He saw that they molded it. He also heard what they said. So as he was talking and instructing Moshe, he was looking and seeing what they were doing, and he was hearing everything that they said. Because Moshe didn't go down until the actual day that they did this, okay? Which is the day after, because remember, Aharon stripped off the earrings and everything, said, bring it to me. And he molded the golden calf on the neck on that day. And on the following day, he said, we're going to have a feast to Yahweh. Okay. So as they were shaping it and molding it, saying, hey, these are your gods, right? These are your gods. Yah saw that and he heard it. So Yah waited the following day to tell Moshe. Most High tells him in verse 7 and 8 that this is what they did, that I saw them do. And this is what they said. I heard them say this. So Yah's eyes are continually watching this people. He's a living Elohim. Okay. And he talks about how they worshiped it and they sacrificed to it, which was the following day. And he said, these are your gods, Israel. And they said, excuse me, these are your gods, Israel, that brought you out of the land of Mizraim. And he said, Yahweh to Moshe, Ra'iti, I have seen at this people. I've seen who they are. I've been watching these people. Okay, perfectly. Not I will, I have. I know who they are. I know this people. This people here is indeed a people who are of a koshe oref. They have a stiff neck. Okay, so what it means by having a stiff neck is not only that it's hard and you can't, what it means you can't turn it easy. Okay, it won't turn easily. Okay, it's not going to turn. Not easily. You almost literally have to break their neck to get them to turn. Okay, but they'll, once they turn, because so if it's a stiff neck person and they're turning and they have a stiff neck, then what it is that they really don't have what one would say, I forgot what the type of seeing is. Okay, so you guys know how animals, how the sheep and certain animals have their eyes, where their eyes are kind of like where they can look in certain directions. Okay, so what it is that these people don't have any real peripheral. Okay, they can only see in one way. They only see things one way. They don't see the peripheral. They don't see danger. They don't see danger coming, because when they turn, they don't turn their head. They just turn. And as they're turning, if it's not in their view, they don't see it. You see? So anything that's in their view, they see it. Anything that they can't see because they don't have any peripheral, they can't see. So the Most High is letting us know what type of people is his people. They don't have any peripheral. They don't have any forethought. They can't see. Literally, if you can't see, you have one way of understanding things. So for us, this is a warning. This is some information to tell us, like, you guys got to be on it to know where you come from. If a person's not willing to look at things from a different perspective, they are stiff-necked. They're oref. They don't have any peripheral whatsoever. They only see the one direction they have. They can't even look nowhere else. I was talking to a relative today, and today was the last day I'm ever going to talk to him. We was having a conversation. Everything was going good. He was giving me his opinion, and I was stating mine. And then when I came to state my opinion, he thought that insanity means that a person who was insane cannot actually change their mind and they won't be insane anymore. And I disagreed with him. I said, I don't understand how someone who's insane can all of a sudden be sane unless they were playing some type of game. For me, an apple tree is an apple tree. You can't make an apple tree into a fig tree. It is what it is, right? That's what it is. We have to accept things for what they are. So we began to continue to talk, and then I told him, I gave him a definition of what sin was to miss the mark, and I said that, we make mistakes. Because he said, well, I don't believe in sin. I said, well, that's odd, because King David said he was conceived in sin, but not the kind of sin you're thinking. He was just talking about how his mother how she got heated, like an animal, like a woman who wants to mate, right? And so he took offense at it. Well, I'm not, I don't understand how you could say that humans are like animals. I said, well, we all share the same fate. We all die like an animal, right? You know what I mean? We eat like they do. We go to the bathroom, we mate, we do everything that they do. The only thing is that we have the intelligence. They have intelligence, but ours is on a higher level. So everything was going good until he said, well, I don't believe in sin. I said, well, the Most High says that you can make mistakes, and that's what sin is. And the first thing that came out of his mouth after I said that was this: I don't want to hear that. I said, well, that's interesting because I've been hearing your opinions. Now that I'm sharing mine, you don't want to hear it. So why do I mention this, class? I mention this is because, and this is my last time ever speaking to this person, I made the decision never to speak to them again because their hostility towards me was unwarranted. People want you to listen to them, and you can listen to their opinion, but the moment you open your mouth about what you're saying, if they don't respect your opinion like you respect theirs, there's no reason for us to have a conversation. There's no reason, okay? So the stiff-neckedness of our people is found in the idea that you can't look at things any other way except for your way. That's what it is. See, so you automatically default to what you're accustomed to, what makes you comfortable and what makes you happy. And that's what the Most High is telling us by saying that these people, I've been watching these people. I've been watching these people, and these people are a stiff-necked people. They're a crochet, okay? They're a crochet. That means that the stalks of grain that have been bound, it's the part of the grain, the stalks, that after you cut the heads off, it's just that very hard part that you can actually use for a bow and arrow. That's how stiff it is, okay? And he says, listen, verse number 10, now that I've been watching them, right? And this is who these people are. I want you to know, therefore now, leave me alone, that may burn hot my wrath against them, that I might consume them, and I will make of you a great nation. Yahweh's going to wipe Israel out completely. Okay, leaving one man, the very man that they didn't want to listen to, he was going to wipe all of them out and say, I'll make of you a great nation. See? So this ain't the first time. Okay? This is not the first time. This is not the first time, because we learned in Ezekiel, Most High said I was going to wipe them out when they were in Mitzrayim, while they were there. Now he's going to wipe them out right here. Then we'll find out later in the book of Numbers, he was going to wipe it so many times. Okay? So I'm going to read this last verse, which we'll pick up on Shabbat. But it says this in verse number 11. You got to be careful with the language. You got to be careful with the language. It said, and pleaded. Moshe, eth the panei of Yahweh, before the face of Yahweh, his Elohim. He pleaded. Well, that's half true. That's not 100% true, because they're not telling you, like they told you up in verse number 1, that the children of Israel, Moses was delayed. No, they were disappointed. Verse number 11 tells us something. It's not pleaded. Yes, he pleaded for the children of Israel, but that's not the word here. This is the word, okay? It's called yakel or yakal, okay? Or the root is called kala. Kala is this. Moshe got sick when the Most High told him that I'm going to wipe them out. The first thing that Moshe felt, he didn't say anything. This is what he felt. He felt sick and he became weak because of what the Most High said he was going to do to the children of Israel. It was this sickness and it was this weakness that he felt that had some bearing on how the Most High was going to deal with Israel. Okay. And it said in a very forceful way, as a PL, meaning he felt this like for real, like it was terrible. So when you put it in its proper context, it says Moshe was sick. Moshe was sick and he was weak before the face of Yahweh, his Elohim. Then, and he said, why? Why, Yahweh, does you burn your wrath against your people? What do you mean, why? They left quickly the way I told them. They corrupted themselves. Why was Moshe asking why? Okay. Moshe is asking why 2 times. Listen to this. 2 times he asked why. Okay. Why? And then down here, why? Lama. He says 2 times. He says, why are you angry? Your anger, your wrath against your people, in whom you brought out. You Hotzethah. Remember, the Most High said, you brought them out. And then he turns around and says, you brought them out. Those are your people. The Most High said they were Moshe's people. Moshe said, no, they're not my people. They're your people that you brought out of the land of Mizraim with power, of great power, by your hand. Okay? Mighty Kazakwa. That's what you did. Okay? That's the first question he asked, right? Second question is, why? Why should they, meaning Mizraim, say or continue to say, not just say one time, it's a call infinitive, mean they're always going to say this. They're always, that Mizraim is always going to say this. That's why he uses an infinitive. Lemor, they're always going to say that in or with evil, they say harm there, but it's ra'ah, all evil, he has brought them out, not me, to laharog otham, meaning to kill them. That's your only purpose. Infinitive, they're going to continue to say always, just like they're going to talk always. This is what they're always going to say about you. They're always going to say that you brought them out with evil intention, and that what you wanted to do in the first place was to kill them. That's why. Okay, why? So why you want to do that? Why would you give them the occasion to say that about you? You know, because you're going to kill them in the mountains and you're going to consume them, ulakaltem, upon the face of the earth. Now, he asked two questions. See? Now, he's actually going to put in two requests that is framed as a, which you will say, a imperative. Remember our imperatives that are commands and desires, right? So now Moshe is talking to Most High, and he mentions two imperatives. So he has two questions, and then he has two desires and two commands that he's actually asking the Most High to do. The first thing that he wants the Most High to do, okay, is to turn. I want you to shuv. I want you to turn from your makaron, your fierce anger. I want you to turn from your anger. That's my desire, is for you to turn from your anger, your fierce apika. That apika has to do with the off, and the off has to do with the nose and the flaring. So the Most High is literally fuming, okay? And he says, and relax and calm yourself down and console yourself from the harm. Listen, all, not from, that's English, upon the hara against your people. So what you are going to do, by you killing them in front of these people, you are doing that which is evil, because you said that you were bringing them out for a purpose and a reason. So my first request is for you to shuv, to turn from this anger. The anger that I mentioned, why are you angry? So the first question goes with the first command or the first desire. The second question goes with the second desire. So what was the second one? So the first one is, why are you angry with your people? And then the second one is, why would you give the Mitzrayim, why would you give them the occasion to say this? So now the second command or desire that he asked of the Most High was this. So the first one is turn or shuv. This one is remember. Zakor. Remember Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yisrael. That's what I want you to remember. It's interesting that he didn't say remember Yaakov. Somebody tell me, why would the Most High not mention Yaakov, but he mentioned Yisrael? Why did he not say remember Yaakov?
Yaakov was the old, the weak.
Yes, he is the weak one. Yisrael is the strong one. Praise Yah, Dr. Yared. And also, too, was found in the children of Yisrael. So he's asking Yah to look past the weaknesses of the people. Look past that. As strong as you are and as mighty as you are, okay, and as gracious as you are, right, and powerful, he mentions all the attributes of the Most High. You deliver them with a strong hand. You did this in power. So if you destroy them, it's literally showing that you're weak. So what he's doing is he's appealing to Yah's power for the children of Israel. He's appealing to Yah's power, and he's letting the Most High know that, hey, the one that you do need to remember are the ones who were strong. Abraham was strong because he did what the Most High said. He was strong because he followed in the path of his father Abraham. Yitzhak, Yisrael was strong because he got to the point where he needed the Most High, depended on him, and this is where the promise was made. This name right here guarantees success, and it guarantees victory, because Yisrael means he has power with the Most High. That's the reason why he doesn't mention Yaakov, because Yaakov is weak. So Yaakov had 12 sons, and these sons are weak. And they need to be strengthened, and they need to be given the opportunity. So we have a leader here who's reaching out to the Most High, appealing to the Most High's strength, and not neglecting or not asking the Most High to forget what has happened, but saying, listen, you're not like them. You're not like them. You're strong. They're stiff-necked people. And it's the very thing that Aharon, when Moshe goes down to his brother and says, what have these people done to you? And he says, you know how these people are. So he does exactly the same thing with Moshe that Moshe did with the Most High. So he says, remember your Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yisrael, your, meaning possessive, your servants. They belong to you, whom you nishpata, you swore to them by your own self and said, this is what you spoke to them. Arbe, I'm going to increase at your Zarakim, your descendants like the Kokave, the stars of the Hashamayim. You said that. And Uvakola Hadres, you said that. The Hazeh, that I have spoken, I will give to your Zarakim, your descendants. They shall nakalalu, they shall inherit the Loam forever. Okay? And so relented or relaxed or was consoled Yahweh upon the hara that he was going to do to, that he spoke that he was going to do to his people. Where did it go? That's the wrong one. See? His people. They're not Moshe's people. They're his people. La'amo, they're his people. See? So, we're going to continue later on, if Yah's willing, on Shabbat to get a little bit more into detail about what it is that the significance of this golden calf, how the Most High decides how he wants to move, and what he wants to do for the sons of Israel, for the people of Israel. You know, it's a great significance. See? So again, they're the cat, they defaulted. They want to be frisky, they want to be free, they want to be let loose to do whatever they want to do. And that is generally the nature of anybody who's been locked down for a long time. Once they get free, they go buck wild, you know. Just like some people, parents have always kept them in the house, they never let them out. They send them off to college, they go bananas, you know. Somebody who's not exposed to different things, never had any money, they lose it. They go out of control. You see, no one who's ever, they never been exposed to having a nice glass of wine, in moderation. The moment they get a sip of some alcohol, they go bananas. They go crazy. You see, they live in excess because they don't have any discipline. So the Most High is showing us that, listen, my people, they're these people. That's who they are. But again, we're going to have to be more like Moshe. We're going to have to be more patient, and we're going to have to be, you said, well, Dawid, you just told me that you're not talking to this guy anymore. Well, that's not the first time I had the conversation with him. And when I tried to mention him about what the Most High said, he had nothing, he didn't want to hear it. So there's nothing to talk about. So there are some exceptions. you know, and even the Most High himself is like, there comes a time where some things he's just not going to let go, you know, and we're going to see Yah's mercy, and we have seen it, and we're going to continue to see it, you know, and for those who he says, and I'll leave you with this, I will be merciful to those who I'll be merciful to. I'll be compassionate to those whom I'm going to be compassionate. That's it. So you and I can't pick and choose for him who he's going to do this for. But you and I, you could choose for yourself who you're going to be merciful to and who you're not. Yah gives us the right to do so. He does. See, but when it comes to him and what he says, he's the one who chooses. But we see that Moshe, he understood what the Most High was going to do to us. And he actually is the one who spared our lives, is by him getting sick and making some moves. And those moves we're going to talk a little bit more about on Shabbat. Hallelujah.